The world knew them as Kendall Jenner and Gigi Hadid, supermodels, best friends, constants in each other's chaotic orbits. They were photographed laughing on yachts in Cannes, whispering front row at Paris Fashion Week, and supporting each other through breakups and career highs. The world saw a flawless, platonic friendship. The world saw only what it was meant to see. Their story began not with a bang, but with a quiet, shared exhaustion. It was the spring of 2018, after a grueling season of shows. They found themselves alone in a minimalist Milanese apartment, the city's hum a distant lullaby. The glamour was scrubbed away, it was just Kendall and Gigi, two tired girls in sweatpants. "I feel like I haven't taken a real breath in months," Kendall sighed, flopping onto a vast white sofa. Gigi handed her a cup of tea, her smile soft. "I know, it's all just noise out there." In that silence, something shifted. It was a look held a second too long, a brush of fingers as Gigi passed the cup, a sense of understanding so profound it felt like a secret language only they spoke. The air crackled with unspoken words. They had built a fortress of friendship, and now, standing within its walls, they realized it could be a sanctuary for something else entirely. Their love affair was conducted in the language they knew best, fashion. It was a stolen kiss backstage at Versace, hidden behind a rack of beaded dresses, the scent of hairspray and anticipation thick in the air. It was Gigi, after her finale walk, seeking out Kendall's gaze in the crowd and seeing a pride so intense it stole her breath. Their trysts were woven into the fabric of their public lives. A romantic weekend was a work trip to Paris. A quiet dinner in a secluded corner of a trendy restaurant was catching up. Their love was expressed in coded messages only they understood. Kendall would wear a vintage Levi's jacket she'd stolen from Gigi's closet, a subtle flag of ownership and affection. Gigi would post a photo of two intertwined roses on her Instagram story, captionless, knowing Kendall would see it. They exchanged gifts that were more than gifts. A first edition copy of the bell jar because Gigi knew it was Kendall's favorite, a custom-made saddle for Gigi's horse because Kendall listened to her talk about him for hours. Their most brazen act was their greatest secret. They were hired as the faces of a monumental new fragrance campaign. The concept was twin flames. The photographer instructed them to gaze at each other with intimate intensity. They didn't need to act. The resulting image was iconic. Kendall, in a sleek black suit, her hand resting on Gigi's waist. Gigi, in a flowing gold gown, leaning into her touch, their foreheads nearly touching, their eyes screaming a truth the world interpreted as masterful modeling. The adverts were everywhere. They were literally billboards for their hidden love, a joke only they were in on. The pressure, inevitably, mounted. The constant scrutiny, the fear of a leaked photo, the weight of living a double life began to take its toll. The thing that protected them, their fame, was also the thing that threatened to suffocate them. They couldn't have a normal argument. Every disagreement was amplified by the stress of their secret. The end came not with a dramatic fight, but with a sad, quiet realization on a private beach in St. Bart's. They were watching the sunset, and Kendall spoke of the future, of a time when they might not have to hide. "And what would that look like, Ken?" Gigi asked, her voice gentle but laced with sorrow. "Our lives are, they're not our own. It would become their story. The Kardashian-Jenner machine, the Hadid dynasty, it would consume this." She gestured between them. "This beautiful, quiet thing we made." Kendall knew she was right. Their love was a delicate, rare garment, too exquisite for the harsh, glaring lights of the world they lived in. It was meant for private showings, not a global tour. They chose their careers. They chose their families. They chose the friendship that the world understood and celebrated, because it was the only part of their story they could save. Today, they are still Kendall and Gigi. Best friends. They walk each other's shows, celebrate birthdays, and are constants in each other's lives. The world sees their bond and thinks it's unbreakable. And it is. It's just different. Sometimes, at an after party, Kendall will catch Gigi's eye from across the room and offer a small, private smile. Sometimes, Gigi will squeeze Kendall's hand 3 times, a silent code that means what it always meant. And sometimes, when Kendall smells a particular mix of jasmine and vanilla, the notes of that twin flames perfume, her heart still skips a single, painful, beautiful beat. Their love affair is a ghost that lives in the wardrobe of their past, a stunning, one-of-a-kind collection that never saw the runway. It exists now only in stolen moments and the silent space between two best friends who once, in another life, written in looks and touches in the language of fashion, were everything to each other.